God, Bioshock 1 is so freaking cool. I feel so bad that I was so late to the party because it's, oh my gosh, how old is it? Let me look. It was made in 2007 and I just played it this year. It's 2023. What was that? 16 years old? Oh, I'm old. I'm so old. Oh my gosh, it's such a fantastic game, though. It's one of those video games that you just think about every now and then. You're like, oh, I know, I've heard about that. People talk about it all the time, or at least they sing praises about it. You just kind of like, okay, cool, but it's scary. I don't like scary games. And I finally, it was free through PlayStation Now or something. Or maybe I had the whatchamacallit thing, bonus package, so I could play it for free. So I'm like, screw it, I'll play it. Oh my goodness. Where do you even start? The theme, the underwater theme of being just, isolated and it's so cool. And the art, oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't even know where to start. Still 16 years old. God damn. Still holds up to that. This would be, I know Blue Point did a Demon Souls remake. I would love to see a Blue Point remake of Bioshock. Oh my gosh. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, I say. I think I would prefer that one, a Dark Souls 1 remake. There's a rumor that they're working on a Dark Souls 1 remake, but Blue Point after Demon Souls. Which, if that happens, then heck yeah, I'm definitely paying for it and buying it because they did a good job. But if they did Bioshock, I'd be so hyped. I played it, I played it a while ago now. But when I played it, I thought it was so good I had to play it 2 or 3 more times right away. So I got my platinum trophy for it. The story. Oh my gosh, the story. I don't know how much I want to say to not spoil it. I don't even know where to start. I just keep thinking about experiences and whatnot that the game throws at you. There's so much. You start out, you crash. A plane crashes in the ocean. You're on the plane. You swim to a lighthouse, and there's something called a bathysphere. It's basically a little submarine that goes on pre-programmed routes, and it takes you down to Rapture. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I just purchased a poster of Rapture, and I hung it on my wall. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. It's so cool. It's probably going to be in my thumbnail. At least a picture, maybe not the picture of my poster, if that makes sense. There's a plane above me. Anyways. Oh my gosh. The lights, the underwater, the bubbles. It's like a whole city. It looks kind of like New York, but underwater. Oh, it's so cool. Anyways, you get on the bathysphere and you get taken to, there's a whole montage of Andrew Ryan, the guy who envisioned this place and built it and whatever. And he's talking about how this is going to be a haven for men, not gods, not kings, not oppressors, just human people. And they're going to get along like that. Person to person. And well, when you surface inside one of the buildings, everything's gone to shit. There's the first thing you see is some people killing each other for drugs, basically. It's called Atom. For this Atom drug, and it allows you to basically just cast magic. And then you get out, and the only thing you have is a wrench. And it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Funny thing though, the wrench is one of the stronger weapons in the game. If you upgrade it and you use your talent trees slot stuff, really strong. I did my Deathless. I can't remember what level. It was the hardest level, but I did my Deathless hardest level basically just using the wrench. I only used my guns for bosses and stuff. Besides, I just whacked everything because it's strong. It's really strong. It feels real. Everything feels real. Every poster on the wall, every like magazine, discarded newspaper, it has something on it that like it makes it feel like it's part of the world. It's so cool. You'll see advertisements for your plasmids, which is the magic system, as you're just running around doing stuff, and eventually you'll get that magic. It's like, whoa, I can summon bees now, or I can light people on fire, or it's so cool. The art style is what's the art style called? It's like the Great Gatsby art style. What's it called? Art Deco. Deco? It's an iconic design style from the 1920s. It features geometric angular shapes and symmetry. It's kind of like, if you think of like a classic elevator, you know, with the gold lines on the black background. That's what it looks like. It's really pretty. And Bioshock has that's kind of its main art style. Of course, everything is falling apart, but it's so cool. The gameplay, obviously a first-person shooter, and you get, as you play through the game, you get a bunch of different weapons. You get like a shotgun, you get a pistol, and the upgrades, oh my gosh. So you got your pistol, right? And you can upgrade all your weapons. So you go to the machine and you're like, would you like to upgrade your pistol? Yes, please. Would you like ammo mod, damage mod? I'm like, okay, screw it, I'll get an ammo mod. Like, I don't know, maybe I can hold like, I don't know, three more bullets in my revolver, right? No, 24. They just strap a drum magazine to the side of your pistol. Let's go. It's so cool. And then you just blast people apart with it. It's neat. I think that was the coolest. Well, the shotgun, what does it do? I can't remember how it looks in the first one, but in the second Bioshock, it puts drum magazines on the shotgun, on the double-barreled shotgun. So instead of, 2 shots, it has 6, and they rotate. 3 on each side. It's so cool. It is insane. Like, it actually feels like they want you to have fun. It doesn't feel like the game designers are like, yeah, this would make sense in terms of in what's the word I'm looking for? In canon, that works. Like adding, I don't know, like a bigger, like for your pistol, if you add a bigger rotator thing, what's it called? Cylinder? What's it called? Like a bigger one. Like that doesn't really make sense, but I mean, okay, I could understand the game, but the developer's like, no, we want you to have fun. Drum mag. It's so cool. And you got so many weapons running around. You got like flamethrowers, you got a crossbow, which is OP. Grenade launcher, also pretty OP. It's so cool. And everything's spooky and it's also atmospheric. I love atmospheric games. Those are my favorites. Ever since I started playing like Metroid. It's really what I love playing those games. You feel so invested in the world. It feels real. In Bioshock, I've always been hesitant to play Bioshock because I always thought it looked so scary. You got the big daddies. They got like they look like they're wearing old-fashioned deep sea diver suits. And they're stomping around, screaming and roaring at you. So scary. I was so scared to play the game. I even told myself before I started, like, I can just turn this off whenever I want because it's only a video game. But it's so cool. They are terrifying, but you can choose when to fight them. Like they're not like chasing you through a map, like, I don't know, zombies and Call of Duty or something. And the splicers, they kind of look like zombies, but it's more like the drugs have really, caused them to go crazy. And so like they pick at their skin and their teeth fall out, just bad drug stuff. They are spooky, but they're not zombies. I don't like zombies. Oh, the game is so cool. The magic system, what's in my hand? What is that? I think I stabbed myself with something. I got like holes in my hand. That's weird. Anyways, you inject yourself with like this mysterious liquid, and it causes you to fall unconscious. But then when you get up, you can shoot lightning from your hands. Oh, that's so cool. And every time you need to refill your magic meter, you have to inject yourself with the drug. And that's the one thing that everybody's going after. They're called splicers. The regular enemies are. They're constantly fighting for control of this drug. Because it basically just gives you magical powers, basically. It's cool. Like some of the advertisements, it's gene modification is technically what it is. But some of the advertisements on the walls are like, they show people like trying to sell these modifications. So somebody will be like, you ever hate like lighting your stove or a cigarette? Just get incinerate. And you can just snap your fingers and light your cigar, or light a stove, or light your fireplace. It's like, wow, that's cool. Because it actually shows like they weren't originally designed for combat. They were designed to assist living, What's another one? Electricity, you can power stuff. You can open doors. Of course, you can shock people and stun them, but there's more to it than that. That's really neat. Anyways, you're running around. At first, you don't know why you're there. A very nice gentleman named Atlas, I think his name's Atlas, helps you along. He speaks to you in a radio, which is nice, because if you have like a partner following you around that doesn't do anything, that would suck. It's kind of like a crappy escort mission, but there's none of that. He just speaks to you in a radio. Perfect. That way you can speak to Atlas, and other people can tune into your frequency, and you can talk to other people. Like, there is a doctor. Her name is... I want to get this right. Dr. Bioshock. Chase Steinman? No, I don't think it's Steinman. Nope. That's the surgeon who is a boss. I thought her name started with a P. Maybe not. Maybe I just type in Bioshock characters. She's German, I know that. Or Austrian, one of the two. Tenenbaum. Does not start with a P. She's in charge of the Little Sisters. Or trying to help the Little Sisters. So throughout the game, there's Little Sisters and Big Daddies. The Big Daddies are protector. They're like the underwater people in the bell diving suit. And they protect the Little Sisters while they gather Adam from corpses. They just go up to the corpse and they inject it, suck out the drug, and they return it to, I don't know. I actually don't really know what they do with it. But they're able to keep the Adam in circulation by doing that. The Big Daddies protect them, and the Little Sisters are kind of like little monsters. They're like 5-year-old girls. I think they're all spooky. They got like yellow eyes. They're all dressed the same. I think they have different color dresses, but it's the same style. They're really spooky. And it is kind of cute though, because they like lead the big daddies around and they talk to them like, "Come on, Mr. Bubbles, don't make me carry you." It's so cute. It's the whole. I think there's a trope about that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a big monster and in this case, a cute little girl. A trope, and they're friends. It's really cute, but it is terrifying because if you even get close to the little sister, she'll scream and the big daddy will stomp over and like kick you away. And he'll physically put himself in between you and the little sister. It's like, that's some pretty crazy good AI. They're able to do that. Like if you get in the way, if you walk between a big daddy and his little sister, he'll break your face open. That's so cool. God, Bioshock's so cool. Anyways, eventually you meet Tenenbaum, the doctor with the little sisters, and you're trying to get Adam, and the little sisters have a lot of Adam because they've been extracting it, right? And she's like, "Hey, maybe don't kill the little sister," because it's not very nice. And instead, she gives you a thing that can cure the little sister, basically stop her from being a little sister and just turn back into a regular little girl. And then that's the moral choices that you have throughout the game. Every main area you go to, there's X amount of little sisters and big daddies. You have to obviously kill the big daddy before you can save a little sister. But and then you get to choose. Do you save the little sister? You get less Adam for doing it, but you feel good because you saved the little girl's life. Or you can harvest, aka kill the little sister, and you get a bunch more Adam, like 20 more Adam, which is a lot. But you kill the little sister. I've played it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times now. I have never killed a little sister. I refuse. I can't do it. I don't know. I kind of feel bad for the big daddies too, because they're just as, they're insane. They're not human anymore. They're just kind of mindless drones. Same with the little sisters until you cure them. When you cure the little sisters, they become, I guess they go back to normal, probably with a lot of trauma, but yeah. There's a lot to talk about with the game, but a lot of it's also like, you just have to experience. Like all the levels are well done. None of them are linear. You can get to many areas, many different ways. It all kind of interconnects, which is wonderful. There's a bunch of different styles. Like you can go to the market in one of them. Is that 1 or 2? I can't remember. There's 3 Bioshocks, 1, 2, and Bioshock Infinite. I really like 1 and 2. They're very similar. Anyways, there's like a botanist area with trees that's kind of like in charge of making oxygen and keeping the air clean. That's super cool. There's a place for bees for, keeping the fruit alive, keeping the trees alive. And you can actually get a bee plasmid. It's cool because like the bees crawl in and out of your skin on your hand when you have it selected. It's like, so gross, but so cool. What other areas? There's like a nuclear power plant. You have to build a special bomb and blow it up. Is it in 1 or 2? God, they're starting to blur together a little bit. You know what that means? That means I gotta play the game again. Love that game. After a while, though, Atlas will help you, direct you through. There's a huge twist halfway through the game. Maybe a little more than halfway through the game. I don't want to spoil it because it is so well set up. And when you replay the game, you can see all the little hints, all the clues that told you what's going to happen. It's so cool. It's so well done. Better than Game of Thrones, that's for sure. at least the 8th season. Then again, that's a pretty low bar. And after that, you gotta get to your priorities change. No longer are you trying to. Heck, I'm not really sure what you're trying to do at first. It's not really clear, but that's kind of the point. But after the big plot point happens, you're just trying to get out. You're just trying to escape. You go through a bunch of arrows. People are trying to stop you. You climb to the top and you fight the final boss, who is not great, I'll be honest. He has like 2 or 3 moves. Yeah, not that hard. He has 4 health bars, which is kind of cool. I thought that was the coolest part, how you defeat him. Because Adam is so prized and so powerful. You have to damage his health bar, so he gets knocked down, and you go up to him and you suck out Adam, basically. You start weakening him that way, because he's injected himself with so much Adam, and he has so much power that you gotta suck it out of him. And you do that a total of 4 times. At the end, you get out. You're free. Depending on what you do, there's 2 different endings. One is the good ending if you've saved. I think it's just the majority of Little Sisters. I don't think you have to save all of them. Just over 50%. Then you get the good ending. Excuse me. Which basically says you escaped. The Little Sisters, at least some of them came with you. You were able to make it to land, and you became a father for a father to the Little Sisters that you rescued. There was like 12 of them? I don't know. A number. Quite a few. And the last scene in the thing is, it shows an old. You've never seen your face, right? Because it's supposed to be you playing the game, but it shows the old main character. Like he's like hooked up. You just see his hand, but it's like hooked up to the medical thing. You know, the thing they put on the thing they put on your finger to measure your pulse or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But he's like all wrinkly, and you're old, and you're like shaking because you have slight Parkinson's. And then it just shows a bunch of women's hands coming, like resting on you. Like some of them rings on, like they got married, and blah blah blah. And it's really sweet because the main goal after you freed yourself from Rapture, the goal you had was to become a father and to give the Little Sisters a chance at life, because they were basically just slaves to suck away all the Adam out of people. But it's so cool. Such a sweet ending. The bad ending, I don't know. I looked it up on YouTube because I didn't want to get the bad ending because it would make me sad. But I think you brought Rapture to the rest of the world. I think. Which, not great. Not great. And the game's over. And then you want to play it again? It's so good. Such a good game. I was so hesitant to start playing it because I am a super scaredy cat. I can't watch autopsy scenes in like cop shows. I get so grossed out by that. So like scary games or horror games, no, can't do that. But I tried it, and oh my gosh, I am so happy I did. If you haven't tried it, and if you're like me and you scary games, right? The scariest part of Bioshock is just the atmosphere. It's super atmospheric, and just being alone is where most of the scariness comes from. Sure, you're gonna get scared by the big daddies a couple times, but heck, you don't even have to kill the big daddies. Like, that's optional, I think, right? I think you have to kill at least one. I think you have to kill one of them. But the rest you can just ignore. And since they're passive until you engage, it's whatever. It's such a good game. I don't know how else to I could go on and on and on, talk about all the mechanics. I could talk about every little interaction. I could talk about enemy placement. I could talk about enemy design. I could talk about level, like difficulty. I could talk about the Vita chambers, respawn mechanics. I could talk about the gunplay, the gun feel, ammo, scavenging, the research mechanics. Oh, it's just so cool. But so much of that is I don't want to spoil it. I want you to go play it because it's so good. It's such a good game. I don't know how else to say it. And the story. I know I said that, but the story is just 10 out of 10. It's honestly better than some of the books I read. Well, I don't know about that. But the books I used to read, how about that? Because the books I read these days are like Lord of the Flies and Old Man in the Sea. So some of those books are hard to top. But yes, please play this game if you haven't. Oh, it's so cool. I'm just sitting here. I'm just staring off into space, just thinking about all the stuff that I've done in the game, all the cool stuff that I've seen. I just want to go back and play it again. Oh, it's so cool. How long have I been recording? Oh my. Okay. Well, if you listen this far, thanks. Goodbye.